how you feel inside. You African, I know you're scared inside. You African, but I know your future's bright. You African, let the truth say. No matter what I say or do, them I've been thinking that you're holy. You run the world and you know where.
Welcome to Let's Talk Africa with Miss Haida. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am joined by Mudiwa, also known as My Zim Love on Instagram, who is also the owner and creator of Crochet Creatives, a wedding planning and events business in Zimbabwe. She's also very passionate about the topic that we're going to talk about today. I'm sorry, we're not going to be talking about weddings today. We're going to be talking about something more important. Welcome to the show, Mudiwa.
Thank you so much for having me, Paida. I'm so excited for this conversation. And I'm really humbled that you could have me on your show. Super excited for what we're going to talk about today. So thank you again.
Yes, thank you for agreeing to even come and interview, because I feel like this is something that we really need to talk about. So
thank you.
So Mudiwa, can you tell us a bit about yourself besides the little stuff that I know?
So I feel like you've actually just told everyone about me. I feel like you know me better than myself. Basically, I would like to say I'm still very young.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very passionate about, like you said, the events industry. From a young age, I always knew I wanted to do events. So I've grown up in a family that does events. I'm also just very passionate about, talking to young women about menstrual hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
helping them to sort of like navigate their way through life.
Mm-hmm.
I love listening to music. My favorite is South African Amapiano music.
Yes.
I'm sure you always see me dancing.
Mm-hmm. I was actually going to ask you a question, but I'll ask you at the end.
Okay. Not a problem. But yeah, I feel like I'm a very fun-loving person, very open to new experiences and meeting new people, and just being able to be a blessing to other people through the things that I may go through in my life. So that is just me.
Yes, that's so exciting. So straight into the topic, can you tell us a bit of your personal experience with what we're talking about today? So I want you to say it and not really say it.
Okay, so we're talking about endometriosis, and like from my experience, from an early age, I just always struggled with painful periods. So I think from when I was like probably in high school, just throughout my whole high school, all I can remember about my high school is that I had a bad experience with my periods. They would go for long days. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of activities. I would miss classes, which still would get me into trouble a lot of the times because, teachers didn't really understand having to deal with the student that has period pains or, missing class and all that. So I just had a really terrible experience from an early age with my periods. Even at home, everyone would know that every month, do not talk to Mudiwa. She's going through a really tough time.
Yeah.
Leave her alone for the week or so. So yeah, it was just difficult for me navigating my way through life, especially when I was young, because of my painful periods. And I think it was only until I was 18 that I was able to then go see a specialist with my mom, because I constantly told her, like, I feel like something is wrong. I feel like something is wrong. So before I went to university, she decided that, look, let's go and see a professional. Maybe we can get more answers with regards to what is causing the painful periods and stuff like that. So that was just my whole experience from a very young age. I would say from when I was like probably 14 until now, and I wouldn't want to say my age, but I'm 28 now. So, so just from a very young age until now, I've just always had a bad experience during my period cycle. And it was only until I was 25 that I was actually diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine from 14 until 25, all those years trying to figure out what's going on, what's wrong with you, going to see various doctors, getting different answers, trying different remedies, being told by family members sometimes that, you know, don't worry, after you have a child, it will all stop and all that. So it was, yeah, for me, my period cycle, my menstruation cycle is always just a very terrible, dark moment in my life, because it really takes away from me as a woman, in the sense that I can't do a lot of things during my period. I have to miss work. I'm not as active as I want to be. I'm not my best self during my period. So, and it really does then feed into like my mental health as well. With feeling sad and stressed about these things. So that's just been my whole experience with my period, and ever since I was diagnosed with endometriosis as well.
Yes. So what is endometriosis? What is the condition? What really will be happening in your womb? In your
so
uterus?
It's like this. Yeah, so there's like a lot of explanations about, you know, endometriosis. And my understanding with endometriosis is that like it's literally, you know, something that's like mimicking my period, where the tissue is growing outside the uterus lining.
Okay.
So, and it's very painful when it does that. So it literally can grow. It can grow anywhere on your ovaries. I've heard of people that way. Sometimes it can be found in your lungs. Yeah. I'm still trying to understand it as well, in the sense that, because it's, you know, you get the Google explanation is just tissue that's growing outside your uterus lining, which must be very, very painful. I know doctors to this day, they're still trying to figure out what causes it, because no one knows what causes endometriosis. So that's my understanding of endometriosis.
Would you be able to then like if some, like I know also growing in high school, you'd see young ladies who won't be able to go to class because they're in pain, and they say they're having painful periods. Is there a difference now between just having painful periods and having endometriosis? Is there a difference? Would you say?
I feel like there's a difference, but sometimes, usually when you're having painful periods, it's usually linked to actually something that might be going on inside. So it's not usually all the time that it's endometriosis. Sometimes it can be you have fibroids. Sometimes it can be you have PCOS, or sometimes it can be you have cysts on your ovaries. So I think painful periods is not really attached to endometriosis, but it's probably one of the indicators that you might be suffering from endometriosis. And I say this because there's a lot of girls, when I started talking and sharing about endometriosis, a lot of girls would then reach out and say, look, I've been having painful periods. There's certain symptoms that you have that will indicate that you might have endometriosis. So I always say, look, it's better to go see a specialist, because I'm not a specialist. I can't then say, yeah, you have endometriosis, because my symptoms can be different from another person's symptoms. You know, some girls don't suffer from infertility with endometriosis, but I suffer from infertility with the endometriosis that I've been diagnosed with. So it just depends on people. So sometimes it's not really linked to endometriosis, but it may be other things linked to it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not enough information there. In school, you're just taught about the uterus, what it looks like, and that you're supposed to get periods, and that's it. We're not taught about all of this stuff. That's the thing. Even in like now, I'm in UAE, and I know like certain schools cannot even teach about sexual health. We cannot, because of the rules of the land. And in Africa, it's like literally don't do it type of thing. So it's good that the information is going out there.
Yeah, true.
Like, because personally, I didn't even know about this condition until I saw it on your stories. That's when I knew about, like, wow, there's a condition like this.
I feel I feel like there's not a lot of information out there, especially with, you know, because we've grown up in a society where pain for periods are just linked with it's Jeko, like they call it in Shona, Jeko, une Jeko. So they just literally just say that's what it is.
Yeah.
You are not given a chance to actually want to do more research. So you sort of like live your life just thinking it's just pain for periods. I mean, I was told by my aunties, they went through Jeko and it all finished when they had kids. So you actually don't then feel the urge to do research to find out, no, but why do I have pain for periods? It can't just be just Jeko. There's probably something inside that's happening that's causing such pain because it's not normal. So at a young age, you're also taught to normalize the pain for periods.
Exactly.
So you then don't do any research on what actually is the problem, or you actually don't want to see a specialist because you should not like I remember one thing I was told was don't make sure you don't before you have a baby, like you're sort of discouraged to have any surgery to do with your womanhood. Sabatwin by the doctors, by your womb, before you get a baby, because that might damage the whole thing. But it's like, but I'm in pain. So if surgery is probably something that might help with the pain, then why not I do it? So I feel like there's a lot of fear and stigma around the whole finding out what the problem is.
Yeah, that's so true. I have also seen, I'm going to keep referring to your stories and your highlights because that's where I learned about this. I've seen you like post sometimes with like a hot water bottle, or sometimes it's a time where you were swimming and you're like, it actually helps calm you down as well. What are some of the remedies that you take to help with dealing with the pain? And is there any medicine that you use to help you?
Or the remedy. So for me, I think I've just had to I used to Google a lot. So I usually sometimes read about, what remedies I can use, because now people are talking more about it. I feel there's so much more information on the internet, or even with people that may be going through the same thing. So I follow a lot of people that also suffer from endometriosis, and I also have friends that are in the medical field that I can speak to say, look, these are my symptoms, what should I do, and stuff like that. So for me, I usually just survive now on painkillers. If I could write down a list of all the painkillers that I survive on, it's like a long list. And my gynecologist probably wouldn't be happy about it, because she's also when she diagnosed me with endometriosis, she also then sort of encouraged me not to survive or rely on painkillers, because over time, taking painkillers over time for a long time then causes like problems like ulcers, or your body just gets used to the painkillers, and after some time you might need stronger painkillers. So I just try as much as I can not to take so much of the painkillers. So I do take like the green pain stop. I'm sure you've heard of it. Or I'll take like paracetamol or ibuprofen. And then for remedies, I drink a lot of herbal teas before my period. The one recently that I bought it's called Makoni tea.
Okay.
So basically just boil the leaves, hot water, put some honey with lemon, and you just drink that before your period. Maybe like I'll drink like 3 cups in a day before my period, just to help with that. I'll also probably take like a disprin to help with like thinning my blood, so that I don't have any blood clots, because I feel blood clots is what actually makes it really painful. I will try as much as I can to exercise, because exercising is not for everybody.
No, it's not.
I don't like exercising. And it's quite difficult because I get pains before my period. So my whole abdominal area is just like not even trying to, I'll try and walk or whatever. But even with walking, if I start running, I'll feel some type of way, or the pain will start, so I have to stop. So I'll try as much to, do light exercises that are not really strenuous on my abdominal area or my womb, so that I don't have much pain. I'll try swim if I can. I love swimming, so I'll try swim if I can, just to sort of, for my body to release the the good happy hormones or whatever. So yeah, but those are my home remedies really, and just resting as much as I can. I feel a lot of the times there's so much pressure to as women, because it's like you don't want to listen to your body, and this whole thing of, if I'm sick as a woman, I can't be sick, there's things to be done, the house needs to be cleaned, you know, there's people need to eat, I need to cook, I need to always be on the go. But another remedy that I've seen for myself that I take now is I take time to just rest, to just switch off. If I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling well.
Exactly. That's so amazing. Yeah.
And another remedy was a hot water bottle. But I've had a really terrible experience with hot water bottles, in the sense that I've been burnt, terribly burnt by a hot water bottle. I even have a scar for the rest of my life. That this is all from a hot water bottle, just because my periods were really bad that day, and I boiled my water, put in the hot water bottle, ready, put my movie on, just taking my medication, and I'm sitting, and the next minute it just bursts.
Oh my goodness. Ish. Yeah.
And all the water just goes trickling down, and I got burnt.
Oh no. Let's stay away from the hot water bottle. Let's not do it.
A hot water bottle, I would say stay away, because I've heard a lot of people say they burst and all that. So I've had a few friends suggest heating pads, and yeah, I've seen it on the internet. There's a lot of things now that, you know, people buy these heating pads, and I think there's other brand that's selling these things. You just sort of like plug, like you sort of like walk with it, like it's like what are these things called? You just sort of like plug it in, and then you just, you know, walk around with it, and it just sort of helps with the cramps.
That's really good that there's like a lot of things in the market now that are helping deal with this. So
yeah.
What do you think? I know you and Tine Jakasi already are spearheading this. What do you think needs to be done more to raise awareness about endo?
I think that people should just create like safe spaces for people to talk about it, first of all. I remember last year in March, I was invited to speak at my old high school, and I chose to speak about my struggle with my periods during my high school, talking to the other girls at my former school about periods. And there were some teachers that were there, and I was just encouraging them to create like safer spaces for these young girls to talk about their painful periods. It's good and fine to talk about, you know, your sexual education, what happens, and all the changes happening in your body as a young woman. But there's also young girls that are probably struggling from painful periods. And no one talks about it. No one creates safe spaces for a young girl to just come and say, look, I'm struggling with this. Because you can only imagine what it does, like I said, to your mental health. I've seen a lot of young girls getting so depressed to the point of wanting to commit suicide because they don't understand what's happening with their bodies. No one has taken the time to listen to them, to be like, look, it's okay. Yes, it's not okay to be going through painful periods, but you're not alone. You know, people want to be heard. People want to feel like they matter. People want to feel like they're not going. It's not all in their head, because what you're told is it's all in your head. It will finish when you have a baby, and you're only like 14. You're not thinking about having a baby at 14.
No, not at all.
So yeah, so I feel like there just needs to be safer spaces for women to talk about these things. And that's the only way I really think people can create an awareness, is talking about it. Just being brave to talk about it and share your story. Yes, people will come and probably be like, you're saying too much or whatever, but you never know the next girl or person, you know, that you're helping out with regards to talking about the struggles that you go with. Because I feel we can really connect together and support each other and help each other, encourage each other, just from the struggles that each of us is facing. So I think that's the only, for me, it's talking about it. Just having more conversations about the things that make people uncomfortable. Having those uncomfortable conversations is what I feel, you know, should happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I have a personal experience where I had my periods really come really late, and I was so worried with what is happening. Everyone else in high school has it. Why am I not getting it? And I used to have immense back pain. And from 14, from form two, I would have immense back pain, and I would tell my parents and I'll tell my teachers. They'll be like, ah, Moleshistana, how can you have back pain at such young age? What did you do? You know, what did you do? You know how the rumor or the thing you put it and if you've had sex with and you end up just trying to maintain, like, contain the pain. Until when I was 18, then I went to the gynecologist. It has nothing to do with her womb and everything. I had to go and get tests. There was something wrong with my spine. But because the norm is you don't talk about this kind of stuff. The pain, and you don't say anything. So I'm very, 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 if I should say, proud of you and Tine, because you're talking about this stuff, and a lot of people are going to know about it. So well done to you.
Oh, thank you so much. She's actually the one that sort of pushed me to actually want to go get help, because I remember when I started following her and she was talking about endometriosis, and I was like, there's a thing called endometriosis. What is endometriosis? Because the symptoms she's talking about, I'd go for her talks, and when she would share her story, and I was like, but I feel like they're probably similar. And I think that's what then pushed me to talk to her and be like, look, this is what I'm going through, and you have spoken about going through the same thing. And she pushed me to actually go see a gynecologist, and the one that I went to see was the one that's been helping her. Her name is Dr. Georgievic in Harare, and I promise she was the first female gynecologist, or the first gynecologist that actually took the time to listen to me, talk to me, make me know that I'm not going crazy. It's not all in my head, because she's also studied the disease. So she actually has knowledge on how to then do her tests, questions to ask you, and all that stuff. So she did very vigorous tests. And I remember, if it was not for Tina talking about it, I promise you, I would have just lived my life thinking, you know what, it's Jekyll.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll never find out, because I went to see so many gynecologists who just didn't know what it was. They were just like, no, just have a baby. No, just go on the pill. No, just do this. And I was like, if it wasn't for Tina, who was talking about it all the time, I would not have wanted to get the help that I feel I needed. So like I said, just people talking more about it will actually create spaces for people to actually want to go get help and not suffer in silence, because I feel like a lot of women suffer in silence. Exactly. And for me, when you suffer in silence, it's not good, because it takes you to a really dark place. And you never want to get to a dark place just because, no one can help you. Yeah. So if people can talk more about it and share their stories, their raw stories of look, today, this is what I'm with. I'm not the perfect person to see on Instagram having I'm always happy, whatever. I do struggle from the things that, I never used to talk about. And now me talking about it actually gives me strength to be able to go through my painful periods. And I'm like, look, I'm going through this for myself. There's another young girl probably going through the same thing, or is not able to talk about it. Yeah. And so, yeah, she really helped me get help.
That's really good. So in kind of ending, are there any, let's say there's a young girl who's watching this, where can they go to find more help? I know, for example, with something like depression, there's an organization called Friendship Bench, where you can go and speak about what you're going through. So are there any organizations where you can go to in Zimbabwe, if you're going through endo?
So with endometriosis, I know Tina already has a support group. So I think she started the Zimbabwe Endo Support Network. Okay. So she'd be the best person with regards to then getting help, because I've always sent a lot of girls to her. I'm not well versed with endometriosis. I'm also still trying to figure out this endo thing and trying to get help. but she's more like well versed. She talks about it a lot. She's done a lot of research, because obviously for her she's known for a longer time about this disease. So she has a support network group that there's a lot of other girls that are suffering from the same thing, that are in the same group and can talk to each other, help each other.
Thank you so much. So how can people reach you if they want to talk to you? Maybe they've seen you, that you're a nice safety net that they can talk to about what they're going through. How can people reach you? And also for weddings and events.
Oh, thank you. So people can definitely reach me on my Instagram page. It's at my Zimla, very easy to remember. On my Facebook page, it's Mudiwa. If people are very serious, they can reach me on my email, but really for Instagram is fine for me. They can just send me a message. And I'd love to help where I can. If there's actually more information that they need that I'm maybe not well versed in, I can always then, give them over to Tia, who talks and shares more about endometriosis.
And lastly, although you said that at the beginning, I know you love dancing. So tell us the top 5 music songs that you're listening to, African songs that are on your playlist right now.
That are on my playlist. I have so many. I don't even have like my favorite artists, the Amapiano artists.
No, the top songs on your playlist right now, the ones that you're repeating over and over again right now.
Right now.
Yeah,
are you sure you want to know right now? Because
yes.
Like 100. So I have like songs for every mood, really. Yes. So like my top 5 would be, I love now I've like moved over to like African, like listening to Davido more. So I like his song The Best, another song by his Lala. And I like Tiwa Savage, her song with Davido called Parkwell. I like what's his name? Gosh, like with these South African DJs. But I like Kabza, I like Focalistic, I like Micro Deep, like all these guys are just you see, that's why I don't even have time. So that's all who I listen to.
That's the thing, like African music is so diverse. It's so good.
It is. Oh, it is. So I literally, that is like my feel good music. I think that's another remedy for me that I didn't talk about that actually gets me through when I go through like painful periods where I will literally just listen to music, dancing, and just, trying to get that stress and bad energy and, feeling very sluggish and sick. In as much as, yes, you have to rest, but you also have to pick yourself up and tell yourself, look, it sucks that I have to go through this, but look, let me just try and get my body moving and something to make yourself feel better. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mudiwa, for coming through to the show. Any last words for the viewers?
Thank you so much for having me, Kaida. Any last words? What I would say is do not suffer in silence. Don't allow yourself to go through something by yourself. Talk to someone. If you can't talk to someone, reach out. There's me, there's Kaida, who you can talk to. And literally when you're going through difficult things, as much as it is so difficult to go through something like painful periods or being diagnosed with a chronic illness, I feel like, and I think I've always been saying this, that now that I've realized like what I'm going through is not for myself. In as much as it is painful, I have to have sleepless nights, crouch when I'm going through my periods. It's not for myself. I'm going through this to be a testimony to someone else, to tell them that, look, God has given me this mountain. It may be huge, you may feel like you can't go over it, but it's to show other people that that mountain can be moved.
Yeah.
So those are my last words.
Oh, it's a
and
deep one. Yes, get help. Thank you. We hope to have you again on this show. This time we'll be talking about wedding planning and events. Okay.
Oh, definitely. Next time we'll be playing music.
Yes.
Next time we'll be playing music.
Yeah. When I come to Zim, we'll do it.
Please do. Please do.